There are some matchups that we want to see, but never will. It would be great to see a movie that shows Marvel characters versus DC characters. It would also be awesome to see James Bond take on Ethan Hunt. It's natural to want to see our favorite heroes square off like this. That's why anime fans would desperately love to see Dragon Ball's Goku take on One Piece's Luffy. Except for in Jump Force. Never in Jump Force. So let's try and figure this out once and for all. Who would win between Luffy and Goku? Let's begin by taking a look at our two fighters. In the red corner, we have the one and only Monkey D. Luffy! This legendary pirate captain has been seeking the treasure of the One Piece since the days of the Game Boy Color and Tamagotchis. Throughout all 900 plus chapters and TV episodes, Luffy is trained to become the very best pirate of all time. The captain of the Straw Hats Pirates has a ton of amazing abilities thanks to the fact that he has eaten a devil's fruit. The Gomu Gomu no Mi has given Luffy the power to stretch his body like rubber. He's perfected this ability into a series of powerful techniques that have seriously put a hurt on his enemies. Luffy's most powerful ability has to be the way he amplifies his power by increasing blood flow to one part of his body. He's learned to enhance this ability to facilitate several different amazing transformations. Gear 2nd through Gear 4th all allow Luffy to perform monstrously powerful moves far beyond his base form. His signature move has to be the Gomu Gomu no Pistol and his many variations of it. Basically, he'll stretch his fist or fists out as far as he can and then pull it back for a massive strike. He's refined this into several forms, such as Gomu Gomu no Bazooka, Gatling, and Storm. All of these are pretty devastating techniques in terms of both speed and power. These abilities are why Luffy is one of the baddest pirates to ever sail the Grand Line. In the blue corner is the most super of Saiyans himself, Goku! This alien from the planet Vegeta was created in 1984 as the plucky young lead from Dragon Ball. Since then, we've watched as he's matured into a powerful warrior who's capable of going toe-to-toe with alien warlords, monsters, and even gods.
Is that possible? Could a boy be that strong?
Goku has a wide range of abilities that make him formidable. He has incredible strength and speed, can fire powerful energy blasts, can teleport, and can fly. Not only that, but he's able to harness several more powerful forms that greatly enhance his power. For starters, his Kaioken ability allows him to multiply his power level at will. He can also transform into a Super Saiyan, which also greatly increases his power. It also gives him a cool spiky blonde hairdo. Any scientist or professional fighter will tell you that there is a direct correlation between power and hair spikiness. Probably. If all that wasn't enough, Goku also can harness the power of a Super Saiyan God, which makes him even more unstoppable. He doesn't even stop there though, because his Ultra Instinct technique allows him to move even faster. His signature move is the Kamehameha Wave, which once charged delivers a massive amount of energy. He also can use a technique called the Spirit Bomb, which takes energy from a planet and supercharges it into a giant orb of destruction. There's a reason why this guy is the fighter that all others are compared against. So with an enemy this powerful, how could someone like Luffy even possibly hope to compete? Well, the answer to that is surprisingly simple. Okay, so there's no denying that Goku is one of the most overpowered characters in anime history. At this point, it's insane that his power-ups alone aren't enough to destroy the planet Earth. That being said though, Goku has a certain personality trait that makes all of his power irrelevant. Goku will only fight in a fair contest of power. Just look at his fight with Oob. Goku purposefully nerfed himself just so that he could have a better match with the young fighter. He certainly could have ended that match in seconds, but he chose not to. You see, when you have these matchups, most people neglect to take the psychology of the fighters into account. Goku is definitely not the type to go all out in every situation. In fact, there have been several times when he nearly let the Earth be destroyed rather than ruin a fair fight. Luffy, on the other hand, is known for having some serious anger issues. Once he saw how little Goku took him seriously, Luffy would no doubt give Goku everything he had. No one disrespects the future king of the pirates. It's literally never ended well for anyone who has. If Goku squared up against Luffy, there is no way that he would elect to use his Super Saiyan abilities or possibly even his energy blasts. In fact, it wouldn't be crazy to think that he'd be excited about the very concept.
Is your only attack because you're too weak to challenge me any other way.
For him, it would almost be a form of training, one that would actually help him quite a bit against the energy-draining Moro. So Luffy doesn't need to match up against Goku's Ultra Instinct or his Spirit Bomb. He only has to deal with base Goku in a fair contest of strength and speed, although that is still quite a challenge. So let's put Luffy and Goku out in one of those conveniently empty wastelands from Dragon Ball Z. It's pretty easy to guess how this would start. It's an anime fight, so it would probably begin with both of them grinning and talking smack to one another. And then they'd do some light sparring, slowly sizing up the other's abilities. No one goes all out in these things until the last second. After a few minutes of this, Goku would likely get bored with how slow Luffy is. Then, he would surprise the Saiyan by throwing a Gomu Gomu pistol his way, landing it square on his chin and sending him sprawling. Of course, he'd respond to this with a smile and turn up the heat on their sparring a bit. He'd disappear in front of Luffy's eyes with an incredible burst of speed. Then he'd start pounding on Luffy with one of those classic Dragon Ball barrages of fists. This would make Luffy angry, leading him to match Goku with a Gomu Gomu Gatling that would even out Goku's barrage. If I'm being completely honest, this would be the time when one of the other characters would give obvious exposition on the fight. Krillin and Usopp would both be on the sidelines commenting about how even they are. It's at this point that Luffy would realize he'd need to get serious. He'd go full gears second and surprise Goku with a level of speed and power he wasn't expecting from the young pirate. Luffy would pretty much pound Goku into the dirt. After the dust cleared, he'd be pretty upset to see that Goku was uninjured, though he'd probably compliment Luffy to his technique and ask if he could teach it to him. This would lead to some Gears 3rd action, with Luffy pulling out all the stops for a giant Gomu Gomu no Gigant rifle that would send Goku flying. This might be the first pain Goku feels the whole match. Luffy would then expand his foot for the final Gomu Gomu no Gigant stamp that would crush the landscape and seemingly Goku as well. And cue the comical freaking out of the side characters as the ground collapses all around them. Of course, the problem with having a giant foot like that is that it's a pretty easy move to see coming. It wouldn't be hard to imagine Goku appearing behind Luffy afterwards to ask how he did that.
Now, where do I want to travel first?
This would lead Goku to powering up and pounding poor Luffy across the wasteland and back. This would be one of those classic anime moves where Goku goes so fast that he's basically playing ping pong with himself, except poor Luffy's the ball. Afterwards, Goku would probably throw our poor pirate aside and condescendingly say it was a good match, but that he should be done. That is when things would get real. Luffy would then go full Gears 4. Upon seeing Luffy's increased size, Goku might even remark that he underestimated Luffy's power level. Of course, by then, it'd be too late. The strength and speed that Luffy has in this form would totally overwhelm base Goku, especially his Snake Man form. Let's say Luffy ends the match with his Gomu Gomu no King Cobra technique. That's one of the flashiest. This one would actually do some damage on Goku and probably tear up his clothing as well. Then Goku would concede, seeing as he couldn't possibly defeat him without relying on his energy techniques that he would consider unfair. He might even regret having made that promise, considering the fact that Luffy was more powerful than he thought. Of course, Vegeta would be rolling his eyes because he never understands Goku's weird combat philosophy, though neither does anyone else. Regardless of how you might think this confrontation would end, one thing is clear. The two would walk away as best friends. Not only that, but they'd probably train each other on how to use their techniques. Shenron definitely could wish up some devil's fruit. So that's it for the fight. But that's not really the big competition between the two, is it? When people ask about which one would win, they really are asking which one is more of a legend. As far as that's concerned, it's a fair argument both ways. You see, Goku and the Dragon Ball series is widely responsible for much of Shonen Jump's success. In fact, many of the properties that are popular today follow a format that's pretty close to Dragon Ball's. Naruto, My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, and Bleach all borrow a lot from how Dragon Ball is structured. All of them feature tournament-style arcs, villains defined by power levels, and silly protagonists. While Dragon Ball certainly wasn't the first of its kind, it definitely was the one that popularized the formula. It's also widely considered to be the series that brought in anime fans of the West. There you have it. The ultimate anime smackdown. Dragon Ball and One Piece fans probably have a lot of comments. Let us know which part of the match was your favorite and if you agree with the outcome. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more from CBR. Thanks for watching.